What's up? It's your girl OTG. That's Simply Key, and that's me. And so today, look, y'all already know what it is. So we just gonna, get into the video because I told y'all I was gonna be giving y'all a story time about the whole sibling tag question of what is the dumbest thing that I ever did. Oh, but before we get started. Y'all, this is why, I was been supposed to record this video. Okay, don't judge me. I was having issues with my ring light. Okay. But also, y'all, I don't care if y'all don't even want a makeup tutorial, because, baby, you gonna get one. You gonna get one. Okay, because, honey, let's just say I was feeling myself today. I did that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, if you're watching, you know what I'm saying? I don't discriminate. But look, so, the dumbest thing that I ever did, okay? I gave y'all a quick little rundown or whatever in that video. If you have not seen that video and you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that video. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree that that's a funny video. Go watch that video. Go do that, okay? But I'm still going to explain it through and through because it's a story time. So, it is 2014, y'all. This is kind of giving away my age, but hey, whatever. So, it's 2014, and I had just graduated. It was summer of 2014, and, I was out and about. It was lit. We graduated. We was all, it's graduation parties going up left and right. We hanging out. I had family come to town. We hanging, I was leaving the house at 12 o'clock, or 12 a.m., whatever you want to say. Not 12 in the afternoon, 12 in the morning. We might do some little stuff during the day or whatever the case may be. But, a lot of the times, a lot of events that I was going to, I was leaving the house at 12 a.m. Now, I've never been, a sheltered kid or whatever the case may be. I think that's why, I ain't out here thought-bopping in these streets. But, because as long as I have communication with my mom, I pretty much could go and do, you know what I'm saying, not nothing ridiculous, but, for example, I was on a cheerleading team. We wouldn't get back from games, or I was after the training, to, 10, 11 at night. That's on the school night. Or, if I had a friend who had a quinceañera, I wasn't getting home till, 3 in the morning, and she was picking me up, but we just had that communication. So, this particular time, we had a friend of mine came into town. His name is Nashim, okay? So, Nashim used to play on our football team, and he had moved. He had moved to, Chicago or something like that. So, my friend Jayla, my friend Quinn, they was like, oh, Nashim in town, Nashim in town. We gonna chill with him. We gonna hang out with him. And I'm like, bet, I'm down. Let's go. So, real quick backstory to throw it back real quick, just because this, I guess, is slightly important. It was these two dudes. I honestly don't remember how I met them. It was probably at, one of the parties or whatever that we was going to and stuff like that, summer or whatever, and he had a friend. So, that night, we was all supposed to meet up, you know what I'm saying, and whatever we was hanging out to do with Nashim, they were supposed to be coming, right? Okay. So, y'all, this is the dumbest thing I did for a reason or whatever. I didn't know homeboys like that, but that's beside the point. We was going to a public location, so it really didn't matter. It was I was oh, slide through my crib or whatever, right? Beside the point. So, we went to go, I think they came to my house, or I don't even remember, but I was driving, and I was driving my mom's Tahoe. My mom had this huge, big white Tahoe that, that was her baby, that she had up until, a year or two ago. And that's how I learned to drive. That's what I learned to drive in, was a big truck. So, when we get to Nashim's house, or whatever the case may be, when we get to his dad's house to pick him up, he was we was all, of course, hey, whoa, what's up, Nashim, type stuff. Now, this part is important because I remember, like, you know, before we left, we was trying to figure out what we was going to do, where we was going to go, whatever the case may be, right? So, Nasheen goes, like, are you sure you don't want to take my car? You know what I'm saying? You know, you sure you can whip that big old truck? And I'm like, boy, don't do me type. Like I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I did. I drove trucks all the time or whatever. Or I drove the truck all the time. Like, it was second nature to me. Like, I didn't know how to drive, you know, really. Well, I knew how to drive other stuff. But, like, I was most comfortable in the truck. Like, now, going back to a truck, because I have a car now. But, and I was like, boy, come on. Like, boy, bye. So, we all hop in the car. And I don't think we did too much. I think we just did this one thing. We went to the pool. We was trying to find somewhere to go. We was like, what's open? What could we do? Boo, let's go swimming. Because we couldn't do nothing too crazy. Because that was another thing where I was like, we had to hang out with him like right then and there. Because he was getting on a plane somewhere that next morning or something like that. So, what? Goodbye. My brother, what he doing? But he was getting on a plane somewhere. He was going to see some family or something like that. And he was flying into Georgia to fly out with his dad to like another state. So we went to go swimming or whatever, right? I mean, we hood kids, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, we live is really not the hood, but you know what I'm saying? We all come from the hood, so we still got some of them hood tendencies. But like, I don't think none of us really had a bathing suit on. That's why I say that, like, you know, t-shirts, shorts, what's up? We going swimming. So the dude and his friend, they show up at the pool or whatever, and like really they stayed to themselves most of the time. Like they really wasn't. I mean, they talked a little bit, but barely. So we talked to them, we chop it up. People going back and forth to the, like, at one point I was talking to homeboy, and then like my friend was like, oh, I need to get something out of the car, and then so people going back and forth to the car, and da 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 da. Why does that matter? Because so this is how the story really starts, and where it starts to go downhill. We was all having fun. It was all good and fine and dandy. Everybody was going back and forth to the car and doing all this stuff, right? So it hits like 2 a.m. Maybe 1:30, but I think 2 a.m. honestly. We wasn't even done. We were not about to pack up ship and go home, honestly. Even though he did have an early flight. We were about to go back to, I think, Jayla's house. I think we were about to go back to Jayla's house. We mentioned Atlanta. We were thinking about going to Atlanta, but we didn't do it because he was like, you know, he had an early flight. Long story short, before we even left out, homeboy and his friend left. And we was like, okay, whatever. You know, we about to go to, you know, our friend's house. Okay. So, y'all, we all walk out to the car. We all get in the car. I get in the front seat, you know, getting ready to spark up and go to Jayla's house. Okay, we gonna try this again. Okay. All right. So this now starting basically. So then I'm like, oh, okay, y'all, like y'all just having car trouble is just not good in general, especially when it's not your car, you know? Keep in mind, this was my mom's car, right? Okay. So, okay. So, we get to the conclusion that basically that the car wasn't starting. Then we had that little feud or whatever, like, who left the door? Because, I mean, to my knowledge, there was nothing wrong with the battery or whatever the case may be. But it was like, who left the car door open? Who did? Because y'all was going back and forth to the car, and you did this, and y'all didn't do, and you didn't like this, and who? So we're basically in a panic because I'm everybody's ride. Okay? Even if I wasn't everybody's ride, who was leaving me? Who? If your friends was going to leave you, they wasn't your friends. Okay? So I'm like, oh, what the heck? So, first thing that I think to do is my best friend, he lived right next door to me or whatever the case may be. And I was like, all right, bet, I'm going to just call him. So, I called him one time and no answer. I'm like, okay, because this is like the handy person I know. This is like my come through. This is my person, okay? Like on Grey's Anatomy, he is my person. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Okay. So then, Jayla, my friend, she tries to get in contact with these dudes that live in her neighborhood or whatever that could, jump the car or do stuff to cars and all this stuff. But homeboy didn't have a car, or he needed a ride over there, and I'm like, okay, you are no use to me, like, and then at first they was having trouble getting in touch with him, but then it was like he didn't have a car, something crazy-ish. So, again, called my best friend, like, bro, where you at? Like, I'm calling him, because I'm like, pick up the phone. So, and plus, I think maybe one of the times, I don't know if I was declined or he just didn't answer, so I was slick, like, why you not answering the phone? I don't care what time. Like, plus, I know he's a night owl, so it wasn't an issue like, dub, it was 2 in the morning, that's why he answered the phone. No, like, he's a night owl, so I was straight on that. But I'm calling, like, pimp down, pimping distress, where you at? So, finally, they pick up the phone, and the reason why I say they is because for some stupid, dumb, odd reason, like, unexplainable to me still to this day, he didn't have his phone. His brothers had his phone. Like, what sense do this make? And we're not talking about some little kids who needed the phone and was left home alone. We're not talking about, I don't know, like, people who don't have their own cellular devices. No clue as to why this man did not have his phone. But his brothers had his phone. But what I can say is, just like he clutched, his brothers was kind of clutch, okay? Because again, the story gets bad, okay? So they call me, or they answer the phone, and they like, okay, whoop de whoop, bet Key, we got you, we on the way, okay? So then, I calm down. I'm cool, calm, and collected, because I'm like, at first I'm like, why don't he have his phone? But it didn't matter, because the brothers was coming through. Like, the brothers, like, all our age, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bet, because, they being nice. Like, they're not even my best friend. They gonna come through for me, little old me. Bet, appreciate it, because I'm really not trying to hear my mama mouth. Period, point blank, right? That was the point. But we sitting. Now keep in mind, like my best friend, he didn't live directly, like we wasn't in houses right next door to each other, but it was like an apartment of 4, and then like an apartment of 4, like it was like 4 different apartments, but like one building. He was in that building right next to mine, like literally where his sister and his family parked and where my mom and me parked was literally like right across from each other. Like, it was the same parking lot, all that. Like, it takes me 3 minutes to get to this man's house. Oh, and what I didn't explain is the pool that we went to was up the street from my house. We had been a couple times, and we knew it was a football player that we knew that lived there, and like we had went swimming there with him before, and we knew like they office be closed when nobody gonna be bothering us, so we decided to go there. But again, it's up the street from my house. But again, I'm making this point because he lived next door. Why are we 10, 15, 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I'm still waiting. Like, yo, where they at? Like, cause you know what I'm saying. Again, the car down. Like, I'm thinking about my mama cussing me out. It's like 2, almost 3 in the morning. Like, all these factors, it's just not good. Then, so, well, actually, I'm trying to think. I don't think he said it just yet. But, you know, we all trying to come up with little theories about what the hell is going on. So, Nasheem, like, his bright idea is talking about some, what them dudes, you know what I'm saying, they did leave before us. What if they cut the wires on the car? What if they did? Nigga! Like, we are outside, 2:30 in the morning, black kids, and we ain't got no way to Dipset right now. Like, if somebody did want to come out of the woodwork and kill us, we have no way to get away. Why are you saying scary things like this? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So then my other friend Quinn, she's like, bump it. Let me call my brother. Best city. Whatever causes me not to call my mother, we can do this. Like, let's go. So she calls her brother, and her brother, he didn't have any jumper cables. And that was the thing. Like, I guess moral of the story, people, get jumper cables. It'll save your life, you know, or some time, or a lot. It'll save. So y'all. So she calls her brother, and her brother like, bet I'll be up there. He didn't have jumper cables, but she knew he had a battery charger or whatever. So, again, he lived up the street from us. Like, it was like literally where me and my best friend lived. Up the street a little bit on the opposite side was where Quinn lived. And then up the street on the opposite side was where, on the same street of where or same side as where I live, was the pool that we were at. So, he gets there, you know, he hooks up the car, doing a little battery car thing. We wait in, you know, so then it's like, okay, try it. So then we tried again, put the little battery charger back on there. We waiting and waiting. And waiting, and he's like, try it again. How about the bit don't even get that dead this time? Like, the bit wasn't no lights cutting on, wasn't no dashboard brightening up, what? We're not getting any in a better situation. So then I'm like, bro, where the is my best friend's brother? Where are they at? Calling them, they're not answering, because my friend's brother is also like, I jumped the car, I just don't got jumper cables. And then we all teenagers and broke, so, like, honestly, now that I think back on it, I probably could have used some graduation money, and plus I had a job too, to buy jumper cables, have them leave the car there, have them buy have them take me to Walmart, buy jumper cables, come back, jump the car, and probably been alright. But when you panicked, it's dark outside, you know, at this point, we're good, you know, because, you know, my friend's brother is there, Nasheem is there, we're all good, you know what I'm saying? We are good in the neighborhood. We gotta be, because, you know, we got the, you know, wants to protect us or whatever. But still, when you just in a panic like that and you just trying to get the up out of there and get the car to start, like, you is not thinking about that. All you thinking about is, I don't know, like, bitch, turn on. So I had to come to the conclusion. I was like, okay, look. Whew, I really, like, because, you know, I am a real responsible person at the end of the day, though. I'm slick like a goody two-shoes in certain senses. So I basically came to the conclusion, like, all right, why sit up here, panic, try to get all this stuff done, or finagle, or call this person and do this and do all this stuff. Basically jumping through hoops, to not tell my mom, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like you see on sitcoms and stuff like that, when I could probably just tell my mom and all this to be taken care of, you know what I'm saying? You know, because we had AAA and stuff like that, so if it ended up coming down to, like, you know, just certain stuff that parents can take care of that as a teenager, like, you just can't do. So I was like, you know what? Let me stop jumping through all these hoops. Let me just call my mom. So I called my mom. I was like, first I was like, let me just be grown about it. Let me call my mom, right? So it's 2 something in the morning, almost 3 in the morning, and my mom is asleep. So you can imagine that this conversation didn't go no types of good, and I got all types of cussed out. Like, so I'm just gonna spare you the details. You know what I'm saying? Cause of course she cussing where I'm at, why the F this, why that. But to make the freaking, sorry if you have on headphones, but to make the freaking phone call even worse, in my ear is a light-skinned fellow deciding he want to talk about, well, what if them dudes had did this to the car? What them dudes that was out here that's not out here? What these dudes that we don't know? Shut the fuck up. Like, I literally, and this is because I'm like, shut up. I literally turned and was like, shut up, like, because she already mad, she already upset, she already pissed off. So here you go in the background talking about some random dudes and what they might have did to her car. It was over. It was a what? Who the heck? What did? Nothing. Like, I'm just having to, like, nothing. He didn't say nothing. Da 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 da. And I'm just like, Nashim, shut up. So, okay. Again, what makes this story worse? This is probably the worst. Like, you can imagine, like, how pissed my mom was, because it's 2, almost 3 in the morning. Like, at this point, it's like 2:50. It's like 3 in the morning. She got woke up out of her sleep. That's 2. And it's about her car. That's 3. Not working. That's 4. And now she got something in the background talking about how some dudes might have did something to her car. That's 6. And then on top of that, y'all, my mom had to get to me, okay? So at this time in my life, I obviously did not have a car because I wouldn't be driving hers. My mom was a single mom, so it's not like, you know, she had my dad's car, or like a family member that lives close, because we're not from Georgia. So y'all, my mom had to walk from our house up the street to the pool. Y'all, honestly, be shocked that I'm still alive to this day. But what, y'all, okay, so just think about this, because it's a good 4 blocks, 4, 5 blocks. I'll have to go back to the street, because it's like my block, 2 blocks that ain't got nothing but fencing and like housing. Yeah, it's a good 4, 5 blocks, okay? At 3 in the morning, and you worried about your car. Even when you get to your car, it's having trouble starting. And if you gotta call AAA, you know AAA ain't ish on crip and blood. They are not nothing, okay? You will be like, oh, you break down at 2 o'clock. They will get to you at 2 in the morning. Facts. Big facts. Like, I think AAA should be hiring people. Like, they need to create more jobs. Like, we got all these people out here that ain't got no jobs. I mean, AAA, what are you doing? Like, hire these people, because obviously y'all short-staffed. Obviously y'all ain't got enough people. So can you get something, a job program or work program going to something? Because for real, like, that is the most inconvenient junk. Yes, you got somebody to come out there and help you, but you sitting in your car for a good 5 hours, like 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, no, I'm good. AAA. At that point, I could have nigga rigged it. I could have had somebody else, I could have got a little ron to tow it at this point. Like, y'all ain't nothing. What would we pay you for? Like, y'all obviously not using that money to hire people, so what are y'all doing? Like, I need to talk to y'all CEO tomorrow. Like, give me a call, okay? You get a 1-star rating on Yelp. Please let me know. So, again, we're imagining how the highest level of positivity that my mom could be at right now. So, but what blew me in this moment, right? Why? Please tell me why the F? Why in the MF? My best friend's brothers. As soon as my mom hit the little entrance to the complex, because, like, you standing by the office and in a parking lot, like, there's this big long way that you got to come in before you can get to the point where you turn into it, but you can see the people coming in from, like, the parking lot. Why is my mama starting to walk up this long path, right? So she's made it. Why my best friends pulling in? Keep in mind, we didn't have time to call them again, call this other dude, call my friend brother, try to wait on the car, charge it in, do this, call them back. Hell, I didn't sit up here and call and talk to my mama, and she didn't have time to walk up here. And y'all was coming from the same location. So I thought, okay? So I'm about blue, because I'm like, bro, if I knew, because at this point, I thought they weren't coming. Like, I was like, they said they coming, but they can't be coming. Like, it's taking them too long. He lives right next door to me. We're down the street. It takes 1 minute and 30 seconds by car, not even. Like, come on. So I just thought they weren't coming. No. They pull in, so they pass her. Of course, they in a car, so, it takes them this quicker to get up the little walkway or whatever the case may be. They turn into the parking lot. They go, and I'm like, what the you know what I'm saying? Like, where y'all been at? Why he talking about some, oh, bro, we was in Atlanta. In Atlanta? You don't think that was some good information that you should have told me when I called you to say that, hey, I need help with this, with the car, and you like, bet I got you, and I'm thinking you're down the street? Because even though my best friend's brothers did not live with him, guess where they lived at? Up the street, okay? They literally, like, instead of being all along that same street like all of us was, they was on this, like, side street or whatever that they lived. And then his other brothers lived on the street, like, right before my house. So, y'all, why didn't y'all relay the information that y'all was coming from Atlanta? Now, yes, I do feel very grateful that, y'all would come all the way from Atlanta for a real one. Appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all is. You know what I'm saying? My boys. But, you don't think that was some good information? You don't think that was some good, to let me know? Like, okay. So, I'm like, bro, like, I was pissed, but I was relieved, but I was stressed, but I was all over the place, because I was like, look, my mom, like, she just walked up here, and y'all just passed her. So, by the time she got to us, like, we had already popped the trunk, and they had set up the jumper cables, and basically jumped the car. But still, when my mom Got up there, she was hot as fish grease, because again, she didn't got out her bed, her car's messed up, da 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 da, it's 3 in the morning, like, so yeah, and then I think she was like, where the little boy talking about somebody did something to my car, and I'm like, mom, no, did nobody do nothing to your car, and I'm just like looking at her, and she like, you see what you do? Do you see this bull? But yeah, and so my friend's brother took all of them home. Of course, my best friend's brothers, they left in their car, and I had the luxury of by myself going home with my mother. Yeah, again, it's a blessing that I'm still alive. But I think too, one good thing that helped was that Slick, like, it was set up that my friend brother ended up coming to try to help, because he took all them home. He took Nashim home, my friend Quentin Jayla, like, he took all them home. Now if my mom would have had to take them home on top of that, we come here today to celebrate the death of Kiera Knowles. She lived a good, prosperous life. Like, I would be dead, like, straight like that. Like, I'll straight be dead, because, again, with all this anger and frustration, she would have had to take kids home that she didn't want to take home, because she didn't want to be out of her bed in the first place. So that saved me. But my mom was so mad. She was like, you ain't doing nothing for the rest of the summer. Da da da. Y'all, keep in mind that the only thing left that I had to do this summer was be a counselor at my Christian camp. So she was pissed. She was like, you go to camp? Tell them you're not coming this year? Will your mama tell you you can't counsel at a Christian camp? She mad. Like, that's like your mama saying you can't go to church. Like, you grounded. You ain't going nowhere. You is on lockdown. Do you hear me? Like, you ain't going nowhere. You can't go to church. I mean, I went to church. I went to church camp. I was still a counselor that year, but y'all. She was like, you going to work and you coming home. Because that's one thing my mom wasn't going to tell me I couldn't do. Oh, she was going to make sure I went to go get that bag. She was going to make sure that my mom don't play about that money. She was like, you got to work and you come home. And that's all you going to be doing until you leave for college. So, y'all. But really, that's literally all I had to do. To be a camp counselor, come back, and go to school. Like... So yeah, that's the story of the dumbest thing that I ever did, which wasn't my fault. But basically getting stranded at the pool with my friends and having to make my mom come walk up there to save me. Like, yo, that junk was so crazy. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Like, that junk was wild. And when I recorded that video, when I did the sibling tag, like I said, for all of my videos, I really want to leave you with some type of inspiration, motivation, or whatever the case may be. I don't have one from the third eye thoughts this time, but more so the inspiration for today is just love people while they're here. Celebrate and commemorate the friendships that you have as you go forward, and that, just appreciate the people around you and the moments that you have with them, and all that stuff that sounds cliche, that sounds corny, that sounds, whatever the case may be, for real. Because I hadn't seen Nashim in a long time, and actually that was the last night that I had seen him. And um like being in my high school and stuff like that, like we in a sense created relationships and stuff like that, especially with me being an athletic trainer with the athletes and stuff like that. And Nasheen was one of them. And I recorded that video, and I was again obviously talking to y'all, and I gave a quick rundown of um, the story or whatever the case may be, even though I just gave y'all all the details just now. And a couple days later, I literally got a phone call from a friend, Quinn, the girl who was there that night as well. And she called me to let me know that Nishim had passed. He was murdered. And the sad part is, while he was here in Atlanta. Yeah, so that was very tough. You know, um, a lot of students that I went to school with have passed from different things going on, but you a lot of them, honestly, I can't say I've had the closest relationship with, or like that I pretty much knew at all. Like I couldn't name not one time that I did anything with them. So I didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, rest in peace to you know what I'm saying? But that one, getting that phone call, because another thing too, I think I was busy that day, or I just wasn't feeling it that day. I don't know. She had tried to call me either earlier that day or the day before, and I just didn't pick up the phone. I didn't. Well, actually, I think it was I don't know. I think it was some time in beforehand where she had called me and I didn't pick up the phone and stuff like that. And it's crazy because stuff had happened, and it just so happened that this time that she called, I picked up the phone immediately, and that's what she had to tell me. So, you never know when a person that you, because again, that is a big moment of my life, that happened. That's slick how my my curfew became 3 o'clock in the morning, went afterward and stuff like that. But like I said, we were at my high school, especially me, the trainers and the football team, we really did get close just because there were so many days that we were out there in that hot sun together. So many days that in the morning we was out there basically watching the sunrise together, working hard. There were so many days, spending the night at the school together because we had practice, we had overnight practices and all types of stuff, and it grew us a relationship that we had one outside of school. So it was really a beautiful thing, and you really have to appreciate the relationships that you have, just because you never know when it's your time. And especially with being as young as I am and being as young as he is, like, we kind of go to bed and we wake up that next morning like the day was old to us, and like it's not the present, a gift, a blessing that we got to wake up this morning. And when stuff like that happens, when somebody's so young or so close to you in age passes, or something happens to them, it really takes you a step back, that hey, tomorrow isn't promised. Like, it's not mine just because I think I'm young and I'm supposed to wake up the next day, or I'm supposed to survive throughout the day so I can wake up the day after that. So, you know, make sure you take care of those friendships and truly, enjoy those moments and reach out to people. Make sure you execute every day as well as you can, and being the best that you can, and doing everything that you can to make that day count. Anything that you're afraid to do, that you're afraid to step out on, that you're afraid to accomplish, don't be, because there are so many ideas, there are so many plans, there are so many things that die with people when they pass on. So You know, don't be afraid, because again, the worst thing that could ever happen to you, you know what I'm saying, as far as expressing and following your dreams, is somebody can tell you no. Now, keep note and pay attention that I didn't say the worst thing that can happen is for your dream not to come true. But the worst thing that could happen is somebody to say no, they don't agree with your idea. You learn, you grow, and that doesn't mean that your dream or whatever, you know, your fears are gonna come true. It only comes true if you stop. It only comes true if you don't work. It only comes true if, you know, you don't go forth and just, you know, live your best life. Seriously. So with all that being said, I want to thank you for being my A1 since day one. I hope you enjoyed this story time about the funny time me and my friends and when I got in trouble. But make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. Like I told you, I'm about to give you this makeup tutorial because you know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that like button if you thought this was a funny story time about some crazy stuff that I've been through. Trust me, I got more coming at you. And make sure you hit that bell button so that you know every time that I upload or every time I got something going on, you know, because I got stuff coming your way. And make sure you hit me up in the comment section. Hit me up in the comment section. Ask me a question. I had somebody asked me to do a collab with them on my last video. And do a tag with them. I'm down. Let's go. Let's get it. But yeah, let's get some communication working. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.